Lawmakers, protesters making their voices heard as lawmakers take a stand of their own. The GOP-led House and Senate plan to take the governor to court over her state emergency powers. We'll go live to Lansing in just moments, but we start tonight with News 8 political reporter Rick Albin. Rick, a lot going on at the Capitol today.
Boy, there really is, Susan, and I got to tell you, it continues. The House is already adjourned, but the Senate is still debating some of the bills the House sent back over to them, and likely will pass that resolution that would give the Senate the opportunity to join into some legal battle. The showdown really came to a finer point today when the State House issued a resolution that allows the Speaker, Lee Chatfield, to take legal action against the governor for her activities surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic here in the state of Michigan. And the governor has made it clear that she thinks she has the authority to continue the emergency provisions that are in place right now, the state of emergency, without any input from the legislature. And that's where this has really come to kind of loggerheads. Now, the State House did pass some other legislation. Some of that will be considered by the Senate that the governor's already said she's not going to sign, but it still created a lot of really heated debate on the floor today.
There's lots of conversation about ethnicity and race and age and gender and all of that, but the data is there too to prove that it doesn't matter if you're black or white, if you're young or old, if you're male or female, you too can die. You too can get sick. And it's so important that we put measures in place that we can be responsible in making sure we protect the lives of all citizens in Michigan and be responsible in balancing that with returning our economy upright.
Here in the United States of America and the great state of Michigan, we have processes and a constitution by which we handle pandemics like this, and it is called separation of powers, checks and balances that are enumerated within our Constitution to ensure in moments like this we have an active democratic process. That process has been fought for. People have died for that process. And we today are wanting to continue that process in a partnership.
So what of that possibility of legal action? Well, it certainly is possible, but it's unclear as exactly how they would proceed. It depending on what parts of legislation or statute or actions that the governor took that the legislature would try to litigate against. It could be really confusing about which of the myriad executive orders that the governor has signed would still be in place. So it at very least is going to strain an already strained relationship between the governor and the legislature at the very time that more people than ever are looking to Lansing for some type of answer. Susan?
Right, certainly heated there today in those images. The Senate just went back into session. What do we expect from them?
Well, we've seen a few speeches already, and I've got the feed right down here. There are some Democrats objecting to this bill that came back over from the Senate, and really their objections are about the executive order provisions that were put into that bill. They say that was improper. The bottom line is the governor's not going to sign that bill even after the Senate passes it, as I suspect they will. But the two things the Senate may do in addition to that, one is to pass a resolution that would allow them to join into legal activity, and there's a separate resolution that would change some other provisions, but those are just resolutions. Those are not binding except to allow the Senate Majority Leader to join in the lawsuit. Susan?